There is no peace like that of a winter forest enveloped in mist. Trees are bare once again, seeds are buried deep in the darkness of the soil, and the air is filled with sense of peace and calm. It truly is one of the most beautiful times to be out in the nature, and as they say, it's never too cold. You are just not dressed warm enough. There is no right or wrong way to practice slow living. Here in the forest with my husband by my side is how I do it. We are parents of 2 children and run a small but very busy business, and time in the nature is how we regain our balance. Slow living has nothing to do with cottagecore aesthetics, ducks in the garden, or vintage dresses. Of course, they are lovely, but slow living in the real world is about cherishing the different, sometimes difficult aspects of life and making each day count. In the bleak of winter in the English countryside, one of the best ways to bring hope and optimism into your home, so needed at the start of the long and grey month of January, is with bulb flowers. I'm planting mine now, hoping they will bloom for the New Year's Day. Now that Christmas is over, I hope to take better care of my garden. I need to prune roses and plant tulips. The end of December or even January is still not too late to plant them, to enjoy them in spring. My husband Andre is my favorite chef in the entire world, and today he is cooking one of my favorite meals. Salmon in honey and lemon sauce with baby potatoes, asparagus, and a fresh green salad. I must admit I indulged quite a bit this Christmas, and I regret nothing. Every mince pie and gingerbread latte was absolutely worth it. At the same time, I am looking forward to getting back on track with healthier food choices and exercise.
dokie. I'm going to put these into the sauce, okay?
Okay. Food is a huge part of our life, and by choosing meals that are both nourishing and delicious, we can incorporate it in our slow living rituals. I written a blog post on 25 slow living habits to transform your life in 2025. It includes ideas around food and seasonal living. I'll link my blog in the video description for anyone who would like to get inspired and perhaps share your ideas with me and other readers as well. Let's get ready for a walk in the English countryside. Brown has been my favorite color for many years, since it's the color of trees and soil. I'm happy that it has become popular again in recent months, but overall I don't really care, because I'm not planning to stop wearing it once fashion trends change. Our style and how we dress can absolutely be part of our slow living lifestyle if we stop chasing trends and choose clothes that highlight our personality and make us feel comfortable, whether they are skinny jeans or vintage dresses. We've had a lovely and mild end to the year here in Somerset, but I didn't expect to see new spring shoots so early. It's not completely unusual, especially in sheltered locations when winter is warm, but seeing daffodils and primroses surprised me and made me very happy. What a joy to spot a colorful flower on a grey, gloomy day. I think it's a good sign for what we can expect in the new year 2025. As this is the last video of 2024, I just want to thank you so much for all your kindness and support. As I navigate life in my mid-30s, being a mom, wife, daughter, and a business owner. I feel confident in the way of life I've chosen and how I want to build my future. I wish my younger self had known that one day the mess of a life she was in would feel light and bright, that I would look forward to each and every day, because even the ordinary unimpressive days are worth cherishing. I now understand that we only have a limited amount of time on this earth and each moment is precious. January, a new chapter of the same book, a fresh start and a continuation at the same time. Nature is resting, and yet we, humans, are expected to jump into New Year's resolutions and begin life-changing routines, even though everything else around us is quiet and at peace. For me, January is a time to restore order. Life returns to its normal rhythm, and I enjoy the slowness of these winter days as I tend to my home, my family, and myself. I love this time of the year. I love January. Feels like we're just going back to normal, to ordinary, to what I know and cherish. Don't get me wrong, I love Christmas and the festive period, but at the same time it feels so good to be back to normality. It just feels so nice. The shop is open, children going back to school on Monday, and it feels that life as I know it is restored. Without the Christmas decorations, the house feels spacious and airy. Maybe a little bit empty, but that's good. A busy environment and clutter aren't good for our minds. Although I'm not a minimalist, I enjoy the emptiness. Soon enough, it will be filled with spring decorations. It's time to write my monthly slow living to-do list for January. I love writing, and this is one part of my business that I don't really consider work. Our lives are filled with tasks and pressing to-do lists. Last year in spring, I started writing monthly to-do lists that, instead of piling up more tasks, encourage you to follow the rhythm of nature and find moments of slowness and beauty in everyday life. I find so much inspiration in nature, and allowing myself to be guided by the seasons was one of the best things that has happened to me. I feel called to share this simple yet important message with other women through my writings, videos, and of course our handmade candles. Thank you. Going back to normal also means my husband being in the kitchen much more. He loves cooking and well, I love eating. So I guess we're a perfect match. Andre is cooking pasta with chicken in a creamy sauce and a fresh green salad, and I'm just going to hang around being his kitchen help. Andre is my best friend and I just love spending time with him. After all these years together, we still always have things to talk about and laugh over. As a person with Polish roots, I love potatoes and I could literally eat them every day for the rest of my life and die happy. But in 2025, one of my mindful resolutions is to be more open when it comes to food. Normally, pasta is my least favorite carb, but I swear my husband makes everything better. Tonight, I'm looking forward to our meal because I bet his pasta dish will be delicious just because Andre cooked it. One of the best things about living in the southwest of England is how mild the climate is. Nature never completely shuts down, and even in the middle of winter, you'll find signs of new growth. We recently visited the greenhouses at Tynesfield, where gardens are always beautifully maintained. I wanted to get first look at them planting seeds and preparing for spring. Also, my slow living to-do list for January is live on the blog. And one of the biggest joys of my online creations is reading your comments. You know you're building something valuable and truly connecting with people when they leave meaningful comments on your writings and videos. It really makes me happy to my core. I'll leave a link to my blog in the video description for anyone interested. January means going back to normal, ordinary life, resetting ourselves after Christmas and getting back into rhythm. I believe those first few weeks of a new year are the time to set the tone for a mindful, meaningful year ahead. I encourage you to take this month slowly, reflect on the past year, and plan how you want to feel going forward. Let this feeling and your intuition guide you over the next 12 months. Happy New Year! These cold, frosty days of January must be the most peaceful time of the year. Our homes become the most inviting and comforting places, sheltering us from the winter cold and early nightfall. It is the perfect time to notice and be grateful for everyday ordinary comforts, like heating and homemade food, things that are so easy to take for granted. Andrei is cooking soup for later, but right now I want to show you a delivery of hops. I've ordered these a few days ago and followed the suggestions from the website to keep them open in the moist environment for over 24 hours. So that's done, and now I will hang them over the window. I had a Christmas garland over the window, and now when I took it down it feels so empty. So yeah, I thought I will give it a go and see how it's going to look with the hops above it. and I ordered the mini one. It's supposed to be actually small. Oh my goodness. But it's beautiful. Hops are flowers that have been used in beer brewing since Middle Ages. Today they are also very popular as decorations, often hung above fireplaces or on beams in cottages and pubs across Britain. Thanks to their connection to farming and rural traditions, they instantly add English countryside charm to any space, making even modern homes feel more rustic and closer to nature. In folklore, hops have long been associated with fertility, abundance, and growth. In some traditions, hop garlands were believed to guard against evil spirits and bring good luck to homes and breweries. Their presence in a space was thought to promote positivity and safety, which makes them a perfect addition to my home. They are also known for their calming properties. Placing hops underneath your pillow is believed to protect against nightmares and restlessness. Although I am not a superstitious person, I believe every story has a seed of truth. And simply bringing natural elements into the home definitely makes our environment calmer and more restful. I love it. I truly, truly love it. I am hooked for life. I can't imagine myself moving forward, not having hops in my home anymore. Gosh, it's gorgeous. It's so full and rustic, and it just really brings the outdoor indoor. Right, it's time for Henry. I genuinely consider Henry's the best vacuums in the entire world. January is a time of hibernation and rest, but days like today, with blue skies and sunshine, remind me how winter is both the end and the beginning. Although nature seems asleep, seeds are already buried in the darkness of the soil, waiting for the call of Mother Nature. This time of rest and regeneration is essential. Without it, there will be no spring flowers or the abundance of summer. Let's remember this when thinking about our own rest. Perhaps some of you will give slow living a try this year. I have lots of useful posts on my blog for those interested in calmer and mindful life in 2025. I will share the link in the video description. is cooking soup with chicken, noodles, and vegetables. A perfect meal for this cold January evening. Warm meals are truly invaluable at this time of the year, nourishing not only our bodies but also spirit. They keep us warm, shield us from the winter blues, and stoke our inner fire. The beginning of the year is a perfect time to embrace slow living. The long evenings encourage us to find comfort in our homes and give us time not only to rest, but to read books or watch videos that will inspire us for the year ahead. It's also a wonderful time for retrospection, being honest with yourself about the things you want to continue or improve upon, and also what needs to go because it no longer serves you. It's not always easy, and these decisions don't have to be drastic, but planting the seeds now will give you a direction for where you want to go and how you want to feel in the months and years to come. Middle of January is when true wintering happens in the English countryside. The last of the twinkling lights are gone and peace has settled over everything. We're past the winter solstice now, gaining 2-3 extra minutes of daylight each day, but the nights are still long and cold. I love how cozy my home feels this time of the year, and there's real comfort in anything green and fresh, like these roses that remind me it won't be long until spring, when everything warms up and feels beautiful again. Gentle sprinkling of snow in the Cotswolds last night prompted us to go out, especially since the weather is so lovely, sunny with crisp blue skies. This is a beautiful sight of winter in the English countryside, one that makes you feel like you're living inside the pages of Pride and Prejudice. The local pubs are some of the coziest places to be at this time of the year, with crackling fireplaces and delicious coffee and food. We stopped for a lunch before going for a walk, which felt like something out of a storybook. The stone cottages, sunshine, and light dusting of snow were magical and peaceful. At this time of the year, you'll often find me looking down at my feet, eagerly searching for snowdrops. Although they are officially winter flowers, I see them as a little whisper from Mother Nature, telling us it's not too long until arrival of spring. This churchyard was full of them, sprouting at the feet of old trees and making this already beautiful place truly enchanting. In the midst of winter, it's very important to keep a good diet full of vitamins and micronutrients. It's easy to fall into a slump eating only comfort food, but adding a portion of vegetables to each meal can make a huge difference. Meals don't have to be elaborate to be nourishing. Today, I'm making a toasted sandwich for lunch. Usually my husband and I make our own lunches, but today Andre has been elbow deep in paperwork. The house is quiet, children are in school, so I thought it would be nice to make a simple lunch for both of us. I came across this quote recently from Anne Bradstreet: "If we had no winter, spring wouldn't be so pleasant." It's such a good reminder. I shared this in a blog post the other day and added a few more beautiful and inspiring quotes. I will share the link in the video description if you would like to have a look. When I asked, about 70% of you said you're already counting down to spring, and I'm the same. I can't wait for blossoms and sunshine, but every season has its place. Without winter, we would never appreciate spring and summer quite as much. Winter is time of simple pleasures and going back to basics. After the abundance of summer and the indulgence of autumn and of course Christmas, now in January, many of us reset ourselves and our habits, returning to the small joys of ordinary life. Cooking homemade meals, decluttering our homes, taking walks in the forest. This time of the year reminds us that happiness doesn't hide beneath the Christmas tree or among pumpkin spice cookies and coffees. Those moments are lovely and a wonderful way to celebrate life, but it's important to remember that joy can be found in the simplicity of everyday life if we chose to see it. Passing the famous mushroom cottage in Somerset on this foggy winter morning reminds me again how magical the English countryside is. The day began gloomy and I thought it was a great opportunity to go out and capture this scenery to share with you. A different face of winter in the English countryside. Today feels much more like the setting of a Gothic novel. The Victorians loved spooky stories and often set them in remote locations in British countryside. You can easily imagine being a character in a ghost story when wandering through a foggy churchyard. The good part is that there are no actual ghosts here, just the peace and ambience of the countryside. The day continued to be gloomy. I couldn't resist a country pub with a crackling fireplace, so we headed there for a meal. Cozy nap by the fireplace with a really good coffee. I can't tell you how much I truly love winter in the English countryside. British people really know how to embrace winter and stay cozy and merry during this dark, cold time of the year. I can't imagine myself a better place to live and build my life. Fresh tulips at this time of the year make me happy. As the world slowly awakens from the winter slumber, one tiny flower at a time, we are getting more daylight and feeling uplifted and joyful. No surprise that it is at this time of the year we are celebrating love, In the modern world, we see Valentine's Day as celebration of romantic love, but its roots reach back to Roman times when it was celebration of fertility and the coming of spring. With the first flowers raising their heads and birdsong filling the forest, it's easy to see how this time would make people feel happy, optimistic, and easy to fall in love. Hello everyone, I hope you all very well. I'm coming to you today with Valentine's Day recipes. It is such a wonderful day here in Somerset. The sun is shining and it really feels like we might be a tiny step closer to spring. I am really in a mood for celebrating, and to be honest, I always had a soft spot for Valentine. Since I was a teenager, I didn't even have a boyfriend, and yet the idea of celebrating love, a general love, it feels just so lovely. Honestly, it's not just about romantic love, it's about friendship and family, and of course self-love, even love for our pets or home. There's just so much to celebrate in this life. Okay, but enough talking. We have 3 recipes to make. We start with simple 3 ingredient Oreo truffles, 4 if you count the heart-shaped sprinkles. I crushed a pack of Oreos into fine crumbles. If there are any bigger pieces left, just crush them with the end of a rolling pin. Next, add about 40 to 50 grams of soft cheese. I used full-fat Philadelphia and mix it until fully combined. It's up to you how big you want your truffles to be. I want mine to be bite-sized, so I scooped about 3/4 of a spoon of the mixture. Roll them into your hands until you are happy with the shape. The last step is to melt chocolate. I used white, and then dip your Oreo truffles in it until fully covered. Using 2 forks makes it easier, and then decorate with sprinkles before the chocolate sets. Pop them in the fridge for at least half an hour for the chocolate to fully harden. When ready, you might want to chip off any excess chocolate, but to be honest, I never bother. The more chocolate, the better. These truffles are easy, super cute, and perfect to make in advance. Before we begin the second recipe, let's cut the strawberries into little hearts. Simply make a V cut around the green part of the strawberry and then cut it in half lengthwise. The second recipe is heart-shaped pancakes I saw on Pinterest. I've made this particular pancake recipe lots of times and shared it with you in the past, but I actually never tried making it in any particular shape, so let's see how it's going to work out. I sprayed some oil on the pan and warmed it up. I also brushed the heart-shaped mold with a little extra oil, so hopefully the pancakes won't stick. Okay, so getting them out of the mold is a little tricky, but totally worth it. These pancakes turn out really good, and I'm excited to try different shapes in the future. Also, if you know any tricks to stop the batter from sticking to the mold, please let me know. I'm always grateful for your advice and recommendations. These pancakes will make a lovely Valentine's Day breakfast or lunch. You can use your favorite pancake recipe or even buy a ready pancake mix, whatever works for you. I will share the recipe I used in the video description. The last thing missing is whipped cream, so let's make homemade one. Making whipped cream is super easy. You will need good quality double cream, don't try to use single cream as it won't whip, and sprinkle of powdered sugar. Mix the double cream until it becomes thick. It will take a few minutes, but that's literally it. Your whipped cream is ready. I don't know about you, but for me the Nutella, strawberries and whipped cream combo is the peak of delicious food, but the plate you see me making is already reserved for my older son Jacob. And it's time for the last recipe for Valentine's Day. This one is easy, you can be really flexible with the ingredients, and yet it looks luxurious. Please forgive me for this word, but somehow it's sexy. I think it's the glasses that add extra charm to this simple dessert. I'm crushing simple digestive biscuits. You could also use Oreos if you have any leftover, or many other biscuits you might have at home, and sprinkle them over a layer of whipped cream. Next, I'm pouring some chocolate sauce and slicing the strawberries into small chunks that will become another layer of the dessert. I think using fresh fruits in this dessert helps to balance the taste and keeps it from being too sweet. Decorate the top with fresh cream. I'm learning to use a peeping bag, so please forgive me for it not being perfect. I am known for my wonky cakes and desserts, but I'm trying to improve. For a little extra touch, you can put a toothpick into a heart-shaped strawberry and place it in the dessert. You could even decorate the glass with a bow. Just a little touch that makes it feel special. Finding joy in simple things must be a skill we all once had, but at some point in our lives we forget it. Children see joy in the smallest things, yet in adulthood we take things for granted, often keeping our eyes fixed on future goals, exotic holidays, and expensive handbags, letting simple joys of everyday life pass us by. I just unboxed my new kettle. I've been waiting for it to come back in stock since last year. Once ordered, it was sent to the wrong store, and when I eventually picked it up, it triggered the alarm at the door, causing a small scene in otherwise quiet shop. But now it's home and I couldn't be happier. Some might see just a kettle, and they are right, it is a kettle. A kettle that will boil water for endless cups of tea and coffee, for busy Monday mornings and rainy Saturday afternoons. What I see is a kettle that will serve my family and me, providing comfort in the form of a warm brew. I don't know if you can tell by the light, but when I was showing you the kettle about 10 minutes ago, it actually gotten very, very bright, and I thought this is it for the rain for today, but thankfully I was wrong. The rain is back, very dark right now. So yeah, I am very much enjoying today, enjoying this day. If you know me, you know my content, you know that I thrive in bad weather, I thrive when it rains. Days like today feel peaceful, cozy, quiet, and I'm glad I have my social media platforms to share this with you all and perhaps maybe help some of you appreciate this kind of weather a little bit more. I've had puff pastry in the fridge for a while now, so I better use it. I don't want it go to waste. I'm going to make quick and easy pastry parcels with bacon and cheese. This will make my husband and older son Jacob very happy. Baking on a rainy day has very calming, relaxing effect. The house is quiet as both children are in school. I've been working at my desk all morning, so this little afternoon break is much needed. Pottering around the house is a small joy I discovered in recent years that put my nervous system at rest. Sometimes I make quick pastries, other times I decide to wash the bin or wipe down the cabinets. Keeping my house tidy and pleasant is one of the small joys that only adults understand. And I think this proves that we all have ability to see joy in ordinary everyday things. We just forget as years go by and the bills pile up. These cozy rainy days we've had recently have been the perfect background for working at my desk. I started writing my monthly slow living to-do lists in March last year, so February marks the final month. This has been my most popular series on the blog so far, and I'm glad these lists will remain on the blog for years to come for anyone in need of seasonal slow living inspiration. Also, thank you to everyone for sharing your questions with me. I will be answering them shortly on the blog, and I will let you know when the post goes live. Tonight I'm going to make a simple DIY. I made a similar garland recently, but I thought it would look even nicer and more rustic if made from old book pages. I'm using an old copy of Jane Eyre. It has missing pages and no back cover, so I think I'm kind of giving it a second life, as otherwise the book would be for the bin. I'm starting by folding the pages lengthwise twice and then fold them in half. Open up the page and cut it into 8 pieces along the lines you just created. The pieces don't have to be perfect, just try to make them roughly the same size. The next step is optional. You can take a piece of twine or string and create a loop, making it easier to hang the garland. Place the loop between 4 pieces of book pages on each side, so altogether you should have 8 pieces with the twine in the middle. Staple them together, invert the book page strips, and you've just created the first heart in your garland. Now repeat the process. Take 4 pieces of book pages on each side, staple them together and then invert them. The reason we stack multiple layers of book pages is that a single layer won't hold its shape and the garland will be too flat. And there you go, another heart for the garland. Repeat the process as many times as needed to achieve your desired length. For me, that's 17 hearts in total. Rosa decided she wanted to join me, but only for the stapling. The stapler is what she really wants to play with. To finish the garland, create another loop with the twine, place it at the end of last heart and staple it all together. I know I am a spoiled wife. My husband is busy in the kitchen making dinner, so I might as well go and relax in the bath. I've never been one for self-help books, but somehow that's all I've been reading lately, and I'm getting a little tired of them. I would love some spooky book recommendations, ghost stories and thrillers, please. The weather has taken a gloomy turn. Somerset is covered in a blanket of heavy clouds and rain, but even in the bleakness of these last moments of winter, the first spring flowers are beginning to bloom here in the English countryside, bringing hope and optimism for the weeks to come. I've been meaning to put these vintage paintings on the wall in my writing corner for ages. The small painting is a reproduction of John Constable, and the larger one I thrifted a couple years back. I like mixing vintage and modern items as I think it adds character to a home without making it feel like a museum. I'm not a minimalist, but not a maximalist either. I think little trinkets, pictures, and of course candles add character and warmth to a house. But too much creates clutter that is hard to clean and feels unsettling. Our brain is wired to process everything our eyes see, even if we're not consciously focusing on it. When you are in a cluttered space, your brain is constantly scanning and interpreting all the objects around you, which can be mentally exhausting. But living in a minimal space doesn't feel good to me either. I think we just need to be mindful of the objects we choose for our surroundings, creating a cozy and warm yet peaceful home for our loved ones and ourselves.
Everything just like makes it relatively comfortable.
This gloomy weather is no surprise. February is often a rainy and muddy month here in the English countryside. I might be biased, but even under the cover of grey clouds, Somerset villages look beautiful and peaceful to me. During these dark and still cold days at the end of winter, my home feels extra cozy and welcoming. Recently, I took a small step back from Instagram. I'm posting less there, focusing more of my time on writing for my blog and filming for my channel, as it fills my heart with happiness. I get to share what I truly want rather than trying to please an algorithm. I've updated a post from last year about living seasonally when you're tired of winter and rain. I hope it will inspire you in the coming weeks before spring arrives. I'm breaking the egg in a slightly weird way as I am saving the shells for some Easter crafts. I'm going to make simple yet nourishing egg cups that are perfect for breakfast, lunch, or on the go. I used 6 eggs, crumbled about a cup of feta cheese, and added half cup of olives. Now I'm chopping a cup of fresh spinach. Now I'm adding a quarter of a cup of milk, some salt and pepper, and I'm going to mix it really well. Make sure the muffin tin is well oiled to prevent the egg cups from sticking. Then divide the mixture into 12 equal portions. Bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes. I like to keep mine in the oven until the edges become golden. You can loosen the cups with a wooden stick or fork if needed and let them cool down before transferring them to a wire rack. Then store them in the fridge. Welcome to Brindown, a very popular beach in this part of the UK. Now in winter it feels so quiet and peaceful. We have the whole place for ourselves. Brindown has an incredibly rich history, with the first recorded settlement dating back to Bronze Age. At the top of the cliff, you can find a Victorian fortification designed to protect the Bristol Channel. I promised to take you there, but the top of the cliff is exposed to winds and rain, so I might wait for the weather to get a little warmer. It's late afternoon on another gloomy day, and I know exactly how to spend it. I'm in the middle of reading The Puppet Show, a book recommended to me by one of you. It's a page turner, not literally as I read it on my Kindle, and I've been curled up in my corner of the sofa for a little too long. So I thought I might straighten up and work in the kitchen. I have a sheet of short crust pastry that I meant to use for another recipe, but Andrei ended up cooking something else that day, so I might as well turn it into cookies. I make a few with jam, but most of them I'm going to fill with chocolate spread. My children prefer that, and let's not pretend I do too. They say those who read live 1,000 lives, and maybe that explains my love of spooky books. In real life, I'm not very adventurous. I have no desire to experience anything scary. You would never drag me into abandoned house or forest after dark. But here in the safety of my home and the comfort of my sofa, I get to solve murders and wander through desolate country manors while drinking tea and snacking on homemade cookies. I'm grateful for this slow little life. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Thank you so much for watching.